Welcome back to the Claw Pod. I'm your host, the Ant-Man. Next to me, Ross and Marshall Vaughn. Eric, welcome back, guys. A lot of fun last week with your dad. Always a fun time when dad comes in.
Good time. Yeah, for you. We got in trouble after and lectured after.
See, we need to do a post-podcast that just where it's just a camera that follows around, you know, your dad and you guys after this one's over to see exactly how you get in trouble on the other.
Well, then we'd be canceled as a family. So
got it. See, I understand.
What's really going on?
Great podcast last week honoring Bill Mercer. Yeah, and just a great time remembering that guy, and a lot of comments from you guys as well. If you haven't watched that episode yet, after you finish this one, make sure you go check that one out.
That was a good one. I enjoyed it.
Really was. Today we're talking about best on the mic, and there's lots of people to choose from because you can go just back as far as we remember, as far as YouTube goes, and see who some of the best people on the mic are. I think maybe we could have made this a quicker podcast. We had just said who is not that great on the mic, because there's a lot of great ones.
That's an easier episode.
Ross, what was that guy jumping skip river? What's that guy's name?
Oh man,
jumping skip river.
I'm going to send you a video after this. I so wish we could pop it.
There's been a lot of memes about it, but
yeah.
Not good on the mic.
No, not great. No.
Is this the guy you wrestled?
No, he's from back in the day. I think he was like Mid-South, but he's on there and he's like, now time for the tables to turn. I'm flipping the tables on you this time. It just didn't make sense.
And this time I'm going full force.
Yeah. This time I'm going full force. He's like, I said that last time, but this time I really go.
Yeah, and then it shows him next week. It's like, yeah, you might have beat me. You might have embarrassed me in front of my friends and family. Yeah. But now I'm mad.
Yeah. And going full force.
Started rolling with it. I feel like it started getting a little better, actually.
Do you guys know what a snake draft is?
No.
Actually, yes, I do now. You enlightened me before the show.
So I thought we could. Yeah, sorry, Marshall, you were busy. A snake draft is just so. Let's say you see in the order of what we have on the screen, left to right. I would start it, then it would go to Ross. He would do a pick. Marshall, you would do a pick, and then you would do another pick. And then back to Ross, and then back to me.
Okay.
So it goes like a snake, back and forth.
Bam.
So, but picking the best on the mic, and so we're not all picking the same person. If I'll go first, and if Ross was going to pick that guy, you have to pick somebody else, and you explain why you pick that person.
So we got to have some receipts. Why we? Okay.
Yeah. Just maybe an example or something. You know, I was trying to think. I have a nice list here. And he's not my number one, but it's one that I'm not sure that you guys would have thought of.
Oh, yeah?
Talking about this. Let's see. I'm going to go with my very first pick being Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy is what I was going to say. Kennedy. Okay.
Excellent.
Mr. Kennedy. I don't know what happened with him in WWE. And then I know that he went to TNA.
TNA,
yeah. A big run in TNA as Mr. Anderson. But I loved Mr. Kennedy in WWE. I liked the whole shtick. It was different than everybody else. The microphone that dropped from the ceiling,
yes,
fly back up after he was done. He had a great look. It was like a Stone Cold relative.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I know what you mean. I get that.
And you know how he like you said, he's different. And we what I noticed about Mr. Kennedy is you talk to a non-wrestling fan that was like will slip in and out of wrestling. A lot of them know who Mr. Kennedy is. Like, who's that guy? You know, with the hand up, mic comes down. Like they remember
his name twice.
Yeah. I still don't get that part, but I liked it.
It was like it was an old school thing that they would do in wrestling or boxing as well. They would say, so if it was the world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson, they would just say his last name.
Yeah.
So you knew who they were. Yeah.
And that was awesome, by the way. Dang, he went full Bill Mercer on us. Gosh, it was sick.
That's a little bit, right? Ross, let's get your first pick on best on the mic. Who are you thinking?
Okay, so let's see. It's like you got to incorporate the charisma, crowd control, storytelling. Let's see. I mean, Ric Flair, I'm going to take the easy one off the table for you guys. You know, he had the drip, the swagger, the woo, the energy.
The Rolex watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
it felt like a party. You felt like a party or you're watching one of his promos, you know. So.
Yeah.
Party.
I know that's an easy one. So and now you guys can't take that. So
Oh, there you go.
I'm Googling drip. 1 second.
Googling drip. Marshall. Let me ask you this. For Ross, do you have a particular, is there anything, I know there's a million to choose from, so might be the easiest one. Was there ever a promo or a particular situation that you thought Rick was at his best?
Probably it must have been NWA. He's wearing a suit and the glasses and screaming, drool flying out of his mouth, shaking the hair.
Yeah.
Just those high energy, probably maybe had some substance fueled ones. I'm not sure, but they were great. They looked great on TV, but
every promo that he's ever done, you loved. Got it. No,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is I just watched, I want to say it was Rivals that is on after LFG. I think it was there that it was Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. And there was the back and forth exchange between those guys in, not Mid-South. What am I thinking of? Mid-Atlantic. Where their feud kind of started, I guess. Right. There was some great promos from Rick there where you think he's about to have a heart attack or a stroke because he's so jacked up and he's screaming. That. Yeah. Those are great. All right, Marshall, let's go to you for the first one.
Okay. So because we're tagging with Dustin, I noticed when Dustin and I talk, there's a lot of similarities that come up and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But Dusty Rhodes, because of how it is impactful, the one Hard Times, it's a classic promo.
Hard Times promo is great,
but it's just I genuinely listened to it right before the podcast. I want to see what pulled everybody into this, and it was just cool because I feel like it was a side of wrestling. It showed that wrestlers are human beings too. Kind of, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that's a great one. And both of you picked, obvious ones, but both obviously at the top too. Marshall, with a snake draft, it starts here on the second round. So what's your second round pick?
I'm gonna try to go more current right now because I was like, we're doing a lot of past. I'd go for his son, Cody. Cody is good at promos. He's freaking awesome. He's a great storyteller. And I really didn't know Cody was that good until he left WWE originally. And you can tell he is just a professional. He's a professional and he can talk.
I don't think that I really knew Cody was that great either. I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
It was the stuff he did after he left WWE that I thought was really good.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I agree.
Ross?
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to keep taking the low-hanging fruit. So we got Stone Cold Steve Austin, direct, raw, the anti-authority kind of and he sold a million shirts. Those Austin 316 shirts, he sold a million of those, and you deserve a number 2 spot, I think.
Marshall, is because you can't walk around while you keep messing with the camera?
It keeps slipping down.
I thought it's because he couldn't get up and walk. He's like, there's got to be movement.
No, it's I'm trying to keep this. I have a rubber band around it because the tracking thing keeps coming back.
There's actually a side note. There's actually people use for unboxing, so you can see your hands and you can put your camera, your phone like this, and you can use your hands. I think we should get one of those for you, like this, a wireless mic, and then you can go wherever you want. And then
I've always wanted that camera anyways to run through a whole bunch of jungle or some trees and stuff.
Yeah, get you a GoPro, stick it right here.
Cool.
Just run through. Just messing with you, dude. I'm just messing. Okay, I've got a hot take on Steve Austin, Ross.
Okay, hit me.
I didn't think he was that great on the mic.
Who?
Okay, you're gonna have to back that one up a little bit.
Wait, who? Sting?
Steve Austin.
Oh, Steve Austin. Okay.
Yes, he was good. Yes, he was good. He was passionate and it was real. It was raw. It didn't feel like anything was ever rehearsed with Steve. There were times where I felt like, man, it's hard to say. It's one of those intangible. I was like, okay, that was okay. Although it felt like it was raw and real, it felt like he didn't think about it before he walked out sometimes.
I already know.
Not all
I
the
see
time.
that.
Yeah, I already know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Which you could argue might have been some of the charm there, but no, I totally agree.
Yeah, as wrestlers, it's kind of cool that he goes out there. It's confident to say, "I'm going to go out there. I don't know what I'm going to say. We'll see what happens." But
even he says with the famous Austin 316 promo, he had no idea what he was going to say when he walked out. And then, and not only that, but then also the end was the first time he ever said, because Stone Cold said so. He just said they were giving him the rap and he didn't know what to say. And that's just what came to mind.
Wow. Accidental greatness. There you
exactly. Go. And that's what I feel like. It was like, it was always like, we don't ever talk about the ones that didn't land with him.
Yeah, true.
And I think there were some that didn't land, if that makes sense.
There were.
And it's also because I know that he lives in Nevada, and he's nowhere close to Texas right now. Why I will make mention that I think he was as great as you said he was. So I can critique him as long as he's not anywhere in earshot.
Yeah,
that's all. I'm gonna give you mine with a phrase that may explain why I've picked him, and I'll just say, "Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, you didn't know? You better tell
Road Dogg. Oh, you better tell somebody."
There you go. All right, pretty close. Yeah, absolutely. Road Dogg. I thought Road Dogg was even today. He was on, not today, but even in this day and age, he's on. He was on LFG on Legends of Future Greats, and just carving his way through a path to get to the front. He cuts a promo as he's walking through, and it all rhymes. Like this guy is a walking promo.
That's creative. Dude, and I like that.
That's so true. And we went in 5th grade when that's all we did was talk about wrestling. That was everybody. That was like our go-to. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Road Dogg, the badass Billy Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would intro all his team. Man,
everybody. And he's one too that said that he didn't rehearse anything. It just came to him.
Beautiful, man. That's an excellent choice, actually.
Yeah, and it's hard to like, because Ross and I we've been trying to notice like what live crowds like, and if it's received as well on TV or whatever. But I feel like the live audience feels so different, and it can cause wrestlers to be more creative or make mistakes too, I guess. But the catchphrases, people love those, man. They love when you have a shtick.
The shtick, something they can repeat, right?
Yeah.
Sticks in their head. All right, so Snake moves back to me. I will pick here. I mean, you guys have picked the obvious ones. I've got to pick one of them, right? The Rock. After he became The Rock, not Rocky Maivia, not Rocky Johnson, none of that. It was The Rock. When the attitude came, I believe Jim Ross said, I heard Deion Sanders talk about himself in third person and said that might be a good idea for you. Mm-hmm. And once he started that, it was pie. Everything else that he's jabroni beating.
One of the greatest. You have to say that, because he really is just a natural. He's great at.
You cannot mention him. Yeah,
I like those. See, and I get, maybe that's why I personally, and I'm not saying everybody should, but just me personally, I think I rank him higher than Stone Cold in that era.
I would agree.
And it was thoughtful. It always felt like he had a reason for saying what he was saying, and
to be as good as he was while Stone Cold was doing his thing. Stone Cold was. Like, they had a main guy already, there was
they're both great at the same time. They were both at their peak at the same time.
It was cool that they were there at the same time. Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Well, and it made one promo, their mic skills stand out because they were so different than each other, and they were feuding.
As a little kid, I thought they sounded the same, believe it or not. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why I did. I thought they sounded the exact same.
Then you've got to love LA Knight right now then.
LA Knight is awesome too, man.
Yeah, he's got to be up there too.
I know some people were saying he's like, oh, he's just copying the Steve Austin, or he's just copying The Rock or whatever. But you just don't know until you're out. It's freaking hard. It's hard to give a promo or whatever. And right now it's authentic. I think he's great to watch. I love his catchphrase too. Simple. Yeah, that's awesome.
I found myself saying that the other day. My wife asking me a question, and that's all I said was, "Yeah." Just started laughing. My favorite, or my one right now that's not really catching on, but I've heard him say it a couple of times, is I'm going to slap you back to factory settings.
Dude, I love that. I love that.
Ross, time for you. What do you got?
He's funny. He's funny.
I'm going to continue the trend. The Rock, that was a good one. Let's see. CM Punk. The pipe bomb.
I disagree. It's like obvious.
He's not that great.
Yeah, man. And, blurred the line. I think he had a lot to do with carrying the, blurring the line between the reality and the behind the scenes stuff. So
I'm going to say something
big time.
I'm going to say something controversial. I think CM Punk kind of was the glue of WWE because, I'm going to be honest, that was a boring era in my opinion.
At that time.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's a very fair statement. Yeah.
Okay. Like, I thought you were going to be like, that was the best era of all time. You know, some people say that, but some people will they'll pick some time saying it was a great time in wrestling or whatever. But I think it was just because technology had come where it's been, you know, and they were expanding, going out different places and all that stuff. Like WWE might have been like bigger than it's ever been at that point in time. Yeah. It's because they were in every country streaming. Now there's internet and all that stuff.
He was the PG-13 in a more PG era of wrestling.
Yeah.
That stood out a little bit.
Yeah.
Marshall, who's yours?
Okay. I'm going to go with Jericho. I think Chris Jericho. He also was, you know, left WWE. When he did leave WWE, he was I feel like he was like an important part of creating AEW, and he's really knowledgeable and help. Like when you talk to him, everything seems like thought out and methodical. And I don't know why people love like they either love or hate him. It's like people try to talk crap on him and stuff. I just like Chris Jericho. I think
he was
cool.
As a kid, he was one of my favorites just because the little stuff that would stick out, like the again, you know, little stuff and getting people's name wrong. It was just, I love that.
Dude, that stuff, because he was good at being a schmuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I love that. You just made the last, you know, that like, I love that. I love it.
The reinventions of Chris Jericho have been absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
Reinventing himself everywhere he goes. And after so long, I mean, he's been 3 or 4 different guys just in the time he's been in AEW. You know?
Yeah. Speaking of being more than one person, another guy that I don't think he'd be remembered as a promo guy just because his matches were so brutal. But Mick Foley,
I have him on my list. That's a you took.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, because I mean, he could do. We're talking about some stranger the other day that didn't know that much about wrestling, but he had a deep respect for Mick Foley because of that.
That's Mick is still so great at telling stories. Great author. Everything that he wrote in his book,
he's really smart.
He's the one who wrote it. He didn't tell stories to an editor and a ghostwriter who wrote it for him and rearranged. He's the one who did it all by hand on a legal pad. Yeah, that was the real editor.
Dude, I respect that. Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
gosh,
I'm not sure any editor wants that job ever again.
Yeah.
Trying to transcribe Mick Foley's chicken scratch.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I remember he was in it. It probably wasn't world class at the time, but I get maybe USWA. But when he was there, I remember him just being so brutal there. I mean, he was everywhere he went. But it was funny because some guys from my school all went because they came to our school, to our gymnasium. And the one thing he remembered was that he saw Mick Foley, it would be Cactus Jack then, Cactus Jack Manson, and he had a cast on his left arm. And then he saw him on TV a good 4 months later. He had a cast on his left arm. And then a year later has a cast on his left. It's like, did he, is it really that bad? And, you know, obviously a gimmick, but that was something that stuck out to a non-wrestling fan that went to the event. Is this guy still has a broken arm? What's wrong?
I bet you those casts still helped him a little bit. You know,
you're probably
was
right.
broken.
Ross, back to you.
Okay. Did we say Cody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll take another easy one. Let's do Roman Reigns. Got the
dude.
Classic less is more.
Interesting.
Confident mafia boss vibes. You know,
because Ross and I've been using him for a lot of examples because wrestlers are known for overacting, especially in the indies. Holy crap! Like 1, 2, 3, and they do
pantomime.
Way too much.
Yeah,
and then that's what it's kind of not grossing me and Ross out, but like, hey, let's not do that, dude. Everybody just way overdoes it, and then
he's understated. Yeah,
so subtle, like with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go old school for my next pick, for the first one anyway.
You better not say my guy. Please don't say my guy.
I think I might be Jim Cornette.
Oh man, I wasn't gonna say him, but yeah,
he was on my list. Believe it or not.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know we're doing managers too. Okay, that changes everything.
Yeah, it's just best on the mic. Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best on the mic. he was the mouthpiece to people who had no mouth, who just wrestled, who couldn't talk.
Oh man,
he was even managers of people who could, obviously. But the thing is if you could, but you had the option of having Jim Cornette talk for you, why would you not pick Jim Cornette to talk for you? That guy,
heck yeah,
true.
dude.
Even still today, he can't shut up. He can't stay out of controversy. Everything he says,
like he'd get me hated, but yeah,
feels like it means something to somebody somewhere, even if it's not you. It does one of two things: either you identify and agree with, or it's something so ridiculous it just pisses you off.
yeah.
That's I think that's what
that's a
make
really
it matter
good
to you.
I'm glad you said that, because me and Ross love Jim Cornette, and he has a lot of heat from people because he has an opinion and he will let you know. But his podcast is so fun to listen to, hear him just crap on everybody.
He has an opinion about everything.
Yeah.
All right, I'm for the next round pick, and this will be our last round. Okay. So we're going to go one more for
I'm running out of names,
one more for Marshall. So I'm going to go to 2025 and say MJF.
Yeah,
Good one.
He was on there on mine. He was on there. I was going to see if anybody else would say him, but yeah, of course,
MJF. He's one too that is very thoughtful about what he's going to say, or seems like he does anyway, and has spent plenty of time on the sharpening stone.
You can tell. You can tell. Yeah.
It is razor thin, sharp when he walks out.
He's a student. He really knows. He backs everything up. MJF is talented, and that's hard to say. While we're actively in wrestling, it's hard to put a guy over, that's at your job, because I've noticed that with my dad. We just say Ric Flair is so good. He's not that good. He's not that great. When we were kids, and then that was like, he's pretty good. But I'm sure.
Have either one of you had the pleasure of having a promo cut on them by MJF?
Yeah. And Marshall, what'd you do right when he started opening his mouth? Because it was gonna go a certain direction. What'd you do?
I'm blanking, dude. I don't know.
Okay, so he was cutting a promo, and Marshall just punched him mid.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ross told me to do that. I forgot. Ross is like, hey, if he starts destroying you in the promo, you just hit him, and then And so I went for it.
You're gonna sit there and let yourself get buried, dude? Put a stop to that, man.
I was like, wait, I'm gonna see where he's going with this these insecurities that I told him in private. Let's see where he goes.
Ross, what's your final pick here?
Well, since you chose a manager last time, let's go another obvious one.
Oh, here we
Paul
go.
Heyman, baby.
Dang it.
Paul Heyman.
I thought I had the jewel. I was gonna use it.
Amazing. Paul has been over so many different things. Paul E. Dangerously, Paul E. Paul Heyman, the wise man. And he's one of those guys too that has reinvented himself as he's gone through
multiple times.
Absolutely. I mean, now he seems like that he is like not only a quote unquote manager or an advocate in the ring. He's the guy who's working backstage for you as well.
He'd be a great lawyer or attorney. Dude, I was listening.
What he does.
Dude, I was listening to him. This kid was trying to like corner him because he loves CM Punk, and then he loves right now his storylines with Roman Reigns. Yeah. But he said, "Who's the greatest of all time?" And he's like, "Roman Reigns." He's like, "Okay, but CM Punk, do you believe he's the greatest of all?" And the kid was just cornering him, and he found a way to get out of it. He completely avoided burying anybody. I was like, "That's good."
What a great final pick too, Ross. That was awesome. Marshall, your final pick. Who you got?
Okay. I had two. I'm going to see which one I'm going to, not him. I'm going to say Brock Lesnar. I'm just joking. Not Brock Lesnar.
Good in his own way.
Yeah, I guess. I want to say Macho Man. Okay. It's between Macho Man and somebody else, but
you saying Macho Man?
I guess I'll say Macho Man.
Good one. Good one.
Just because he's just so memorable. You can't.
Oh yeah.
Every time I go to the gas station, I get me a Slim Jim. I hit in the back of my head.
Just because of him.
Yeah.
Just because of Macho Man.
I think of Macho Man probably every day because of that. Anytime I go to a gas station, he crosses. Now LA Knight's
he's a snap into
Is he the new Slim Jim guy?
He and Jey Uso are on the most recent commercials.
Yeah, okay.
And Macho Man, of course. Yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a few that I had just written down.
Let's do a lightning. Get a few out there.
So we didn't talk about John Cena.
Yeah,
of course, man. Yeah, easy.
John Cena, amazing.
I'm actually impressed we got through that with saying John Cena. Honestly,
well, that's how many great people there have been on the mic.
Or Piper, I wanted to say Piper too.
Piper's great. In 2025, I would say this guy has come into his own in the last 2 years. Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because it takes a lot of trust to give a guy a microphone and open the show, close the show. And Drew's done it multiple times.
He always delivers, man.
He's a great human being. Ross and I met him when we were like really nobodies, and he was
classy guy,
so cool. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Edge is great.
Edge. Yes, of course.
Triple H.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you something.
I got some good ones.
Going old school. Rock and Roll Express.
Wow. Yeah, man.
Those guys were great. Call. Fantastics were as well. I was thinking tag teams.
I saw Midnight Express and Rock and Roll Express have a match like 3 or 4 years ago. Did y'all see that? I was like,
really?
On the internet? Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Still going.
Yeah, man. It was like, if I wasn't a wrestling fan, I'd be like, what the hell is this? But it was awesome. It was just great storytelling wrestling, but man, they did not look like they should be doing that. It was awesome.
I should do it. Yeah. Michael Hayes in his.
I had him.
Did you? Yeah. He just, that guy just, I remember quoting him and finding out later that things that I was saying, quoting him, I was getting in trouble from my mom. Just, heaven don't want me. Hell's afraid I'm going to take over.
Hell's afraid I'm going to take over. Yeah. He said
heaven don't want me and hell's afraid I'll take over.
Yeah. Okay.
And my last one was Jake Roberts.
I couldn't wait to say him. Good job.
That was mine. All right, Ross. Just go through your list of others.
Let's go. Eddie Kingston.
Okay. Yeah.
Raw, real. It feels unscripted. Okay, and then
Eddie Kingston, man.
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall. Yeah. There you go.
Paul Bearer. Just the voice. Yeah, he was a really good one.
These like good gimmick promos, like guys that kept it going for a long time and they stuck to their. So I feel like it's hard for people to get to know you when you're in a gimmick, but everyone loved that guy too, though.
Yeah. Who else? Is that it?
I'll throw Sami Zayn in there too. He's
Sami Zayn, yeah.
For a modern,
modern guy.
For a modern one in there, yeah, he's a good one.
Marshall, who did we not get to for you?
You pretty much hit them all. I was going to do, I didn't want to end on Michael Hayes, but I was like, okay, might have to. But it's Michael, and then I was really Michael Macho, and then Seth Rollins. Currently, I feel like he's a good guy that the company can throw out there, and he's not going to say anything stupid. He's going to say good stuff.
He might say something that's sharp, something that's controversial, but
that's why him and CM Punk, when CM Punk first came, like I really felt like there was tension there. Yep. I really felt like it's like uncomfortable to watch. And it's funny, CM Punk always finds himself in those positions because me and Ross and I were, when CM Punk was in AEW, I do think him and MJF was some of the best AEW stuff because they had a lot of momentum, CM Punk coming there and stuff. And it was in the back of everyone's heads, like, they're going to meet and talk. Yeah. And I was always one of those people that like, hey, why do people pride themselves on the microphone? Like, yeah, we're wrestlers. We're going to wrestle each other, but I can talk the crap out of you. I always thought that was so dumb. And then I'm watching that. I was like, okay. I got to keep that perspective too, because everyone knows us Von Erichs are great at promos.
There is you guys. There's no shortage of comments from you guys. We have noticed for 12 episodes, this being our 13th, that I know you're going to fill up the comments section of people that we missed or ones that you want to elaborate on. So keep those coming. If you're watching right now on YouTube, thank you so much. And drop a comment there of who we might have missed, who has been your favorite on the mic, and explain why. Just do what we did. You don't have to do a draft, but you just let us know who was your top, who was your number one that we may have not touched on, or even if we did and you want to expound on it, we'd love
or
that.
You disagree with somebody we picked.
Of course.
Throw it out there.
You can also do that on Spotify as well. So if you're listening on Spotify right now, you can drop a comment with who your favorite has been. If you are listening anywhere else right now, thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit a rating for this and hit subscribe as well, as we'll be back here next week for another round of the Claw Pod. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today.